Glock 17, Beretta 92 FS. Man, when you think of a gun, the image of one of these two is usually what pops in people's heads. Probably more so this one than this one. Break the Glock down first. Pretty easy. Let's try the Beretta. Comes apart a little bit faster than the Glock, but this barrel takes a little bit getting used to when it comes to putting it back together. You got the spring is a little bit longer and a little bit more to deal with in the Glock. And then you gotta lock it back, lock the takedown, and you got it back together. Not a big deal, just a little bit more than it does put the Glock. I'll show you. This goes together a little bit, just a little bit easier than a Beretta does. And of course, I'm having problems with it. There's nothing to do, you just slide it back on, it's good to go. Let's check out the different sights. Beretta's with the 3-dot. Glock has the U and the dot in the middle. For the length of the gun being longer, the front and rear sights are closer. Let's show you a little better. Are closer on the Beretta than they are the Glock. Just a little bit. They're both on these. They're both fixed sights. They're not night sights. They're not really combat sights. You're not going to pick up either of these in real dark conditions. So, say the sights are about a wash on the two. Neither one's better than the other one, I don't think. Difference in the muzzle height. This one's the Glock. This is the Beretta. Beretta sits a little bit higher. Sits a little bit higher than the Glock does. And it's just a matter of preference. Glock, Beretta. Let's talk about the magazine release here. This is one of the big beefs I have with the Glock. I really don't like the magazine release. You'll see how the magazine just barely comes out of there. Yeah, it's just barely pops out of there. Beretta's almost takes the whole thing and sitting on its side. And when it comes to seating the magazine, the Glock, it's just, I don't know, the Beretta really fits in there really nice. Watch. Man, that whole magazine almost comes out, and it's sitting flat on the side. Fits in real nice and tight. Clicks really good. You really know it's in there. The Glock, not so much. See, I can't even hardly. You almost can't even do it when it's sitting on its side like this. I have to elevate it a little bit. It just barely putters out of there. And its seat's not so well either. It's, if you sit it in there, yeah, it clicks. Yeah, it doesn't move around much, but you just don't get that feeling of, yeah, that magazine is in there. This Beretta, man, really smooth, really nice tight fit. Yeah, that magazine's in there. I don't even have to check it. Much better on the Beretta. I was going to talk about the trigger pull on these two guns, but it's really something that you have to feel for yourself. I can just kind of explain it to you a little bit. You know, if you've ever shot with Galack, you know what the trigger is like. It breaks really, really nice. Resets really nice, real clicky, real, I mean, just real solid. Trigger on this breaks pretty good, and the reset is really light. You might like that, you might not. It's just a matter of preference. Like I said, I'm not going to go over it too long on here. It's something you would have to just feel for yourself. Me personally, sort of like the Glock trigger better. I've had a lot of other guns. The trigger is better on the Glock, better than the Glock, but it's not bad. It's not great. This one I'd say about the same. But something that you would have to kind of experience for yourself. So when it comes to decision time on which one I would use, I'm going with the Glock. It's a lot simpler. There's nothing to deal with on the side of it. There's no external safety. It's a striker fired. I like striker fired better than hammer fired. That's my preference. Two more rounds. It has nothing to do with the reliability. Both of these guns are proven. Probably the most reliable pistols that you're going to get is these two. Yeah, I got to go with the Glock. It's lighter just by a little bit, and there's nothing to manipulate here as far as safeties. There's no double action, single action. You can rock the hammer back walking around with it, and you just got that single action pull. I'm not sure how many people do that. Some people like to carry this because they feel safer with it, that double action pull. But, you know, just like most everything in this video, it's preference, and I prefer the Glock. But both of these guns are 5-star weapons, and they'll both do you fine. Believe me, there's not much of a difference when it comes to reliability and what you use it for. So that's just my opinion, and you know, feel free to comment and tell me what you think about the two. Glock 17, Beretta 92 FS. Both really good guns.